What's up guys, Macadii here, and today guys, week 5 of the UAL, where I am up against Zamcro, coach of the Blackmont Raikougars. Now if you guys are excited, don't forget to leave a like down below, I would really appreciate it. We're currently 2-2, not doing too badly, and I've got some big news in terms of free agencies and stuff like that before we start. As you can see, we've got a new member here, Golurk. We also have 2 new members, so I had to think about the squad, thought about some of its weaknesses, mainly the sort of like the lack of bulk, and just like Sableye and Gligar I was never bringing and wasn't really doing too much with them. And every time I found a matchup, they just didn't really sort of present themselves as particularly useful. Like Sableye would throw a couple of Willows out and die, and that was about it really. And Gligar, I just never found the opportunity for me to try and bring him. So I made a bit of a risky move. I decided to do free agency those 2 plus my Honchkrow, and I decided to go for Staraptor, Amoonguss, and Golurk, which I think sort of fit the team a little bit better. Staraptor is really nice because the Scarf Staraptor is something that's a really great check to sort of my opponent's offense and still hits incredibly hard, so that's really nice. Gives me a bit more U-turn and Volt turn, because that's one thing my team really lacks and I really don't like about it. Like, I love the power, but I hate the fact about the lack of realistic sort of setup, which I guess my free agencies don't really add, but I wasn't able to find a way to add both things. But it also gives me a bit more Volt turn and a bit more check to my opponent's sort of fast offense from there. Well, on top of that, I've also got, as I said, the Golurk. So the Golurk gives me a good ghost type. It's really good value. It gives me some more priority with things like the Shadow Sneak and stuff like that. And also, you know, it's got respectable move pool. It gets things like Rock Polish and stuff like that. And then the Amoonguss just gives me a great defensive wall that pairs really well with my Porygon 2. So I figured it's pretty good. It gives me status with Sleep, Regenerator, another really nice check to sort of scarfed offensive Pokemon and stuff like that. Because I can come in, take the hit, they have to switch out, I can Spore, and that sort of stuff. So that was kind of my thoughts behind that. But what we'll do now is we'll run through what Zamcro can be bringing, what I'm going to bring to try and answer to that, and then go on to the battle from there. So he's got Thundurus-I, Florges, Jirachi, Krookodile, Forretress, Vaporeon, Weezing, Mismagius, M.Medicham, Accelgor, and Rotom-Mow. One thing I noticed and singled out straight away was the fact he had the Jirachi. Now, I was expecting most likely some sort of Scarf Jirachi set, just because it's a great check to cure him, it's a great check to my macadii, so I don't see why he wouldn't be bringing it. I'm also expecting the M.Medicham to have Bullet Punch as well, because that's also a good way to kill things like Scarf Kyurem, and also my macadii, which is why I didn't bring my macadii. I just couldn't find a way for it to, sit well on the team. It's also walled by things like Florges. I've got lots of 50-50s with Jirachi, and it just didn't really fit the team, and I could still get paralyzed by Thundurus-I. So the main things I need to try and prep was, try and find a way to deal with M.Medicham. Thundurus-I I knew was also going to be a really big problem with those T-Waves, so I needed a bit to be able to switch into that reliably. And he's got a lot of bulk there with the Forretress, Vaporeon, Weezing, and he can make it, even Jirachi as a defensive set could also be a possibility. He had the lead Accelgor that I had to try and watch out for and try and find a way to beat that. I didn't want to have to rely on just protecting turn 1, because then the Accelgor can go for spikes and all those shenanigans. And having to deal with that is something I really don't want to do. So what we'll do is we'll run through what team I decided to bring. So I decided with my Kyurem Black, the best way to go here was like a sub Life Orb set. I can sub up on things like the Vaporeon, the Weezing if he doesn't realise I've got sub, potentially the Rotom-Mow as well, depending on his speed. So that would allow me then to not be revenge killed by the Jirachi. I decided to take a risk and not go for Earth Power on this guy, just because I needed the extra coverage. So Fusion Bolt allows me to hit the Vaporeon extra hard. Ice Beam hits like the Weezing, it hits the Krookodile, it hits the Thundurus-I, M.Medicham, Accelgor, Rotom-Mow, all of those guys really hard. And that set's still sort of beaten by the Florges, so I needed Iron Head on that to try and be able to deal with that. So I've got 228 in special attack and 48 in attack. I think that's just to that still allows me to get sort of key KOs and Krookodile and still have a good amount of attack left to sort of reliably, Turk KO Vaporeon and put a lot of pressure on that. I think actually probably I'd do a lot, if I remember rightly, I do a lot more than 2 KO. Well, no, I do 2 KO, but I do sort of like 70%, something like that. But I didn't want to invest sort of too much into my special attack. I wanted to make, considering 2 of my attacks are physical and stuff like that, I wanted as many attack EVs as possible in there. Enough speed there to outspeed things like the Krookodile. I think that was my main one I needed to outspeed. And yeah, the substitute just stops me from being revenge killed. Then we've got the Starmie, which is a offensive Starmie. This one's a little bit interesting. I've got Hydro Pump here. I have the Natural Cure, which you may think's a little bit weird. This guy is another check to things like the Thundurus-I. I can hit the M.Medicham. I basically outspeed all non-scarfed his entire team apart from Accelgor, so I can put in a lot of pressure on his team with the Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, and the Thunderbolt, which gives me great neutral coverage between pretty much this entire team, which is really, really nice. The Thunderbolt allows me to hit the Vaporeon extra hard, and the Natural Cure here means that, so for example, if the Thundurus comes in, I always find you get T-waved. You know, you can take it down, but something's got to get T-waved, so at least this way Starmie can take it down, and I can take the T-Wave on the chin and switch out. Though knowing my luck, I always get first turn T-Wave when it comes to facing Thunduruses, but we're just going to have to hope that doesn't happen. We have got a backup though with the Assault Vest Electivire, which is another check to my that Thundurus-I. Set up to outspeed the Krookodile. I can take those Iron Heads from Scarf Iron Heads and Jirachi and just hope I just outspeed, like, not outspeed, I don't get flinched. Like, it's going to come down to a loss of luck with this Scarf Jirachi. There's not a huge amount I can do if it is Scarf to try and on my team to actually try and deal with it, because it's such a pain to try and deal with, and we just have to see. Then we've got the Scolipede with the Focus Sash. So this guy is designed to set up T-Spikes. Just one layer of T-Spikes is good enough for me. It allows me to wear down like the Vaporeon, the Florges, the Accelgor, and the M.Medicham. So the M.Medicham wants to go for, you know, Fake Out and stuff like that. I can, you know, still losing HP from that, so that's really, really nice. I've got Protect on there. Endeavor to bring one of his walls down, because I'm expecting one of his walls to come in. I can bring me down to my Sash and Endeavor. Mega Horn to kill from there, so at least I can bring something down. But the main thing is just to get up that T-Spike, which is, T-Spike or two, which is going to be really, really key. Next up, we've got a potential late game sweeper here, which is our Golurk. It's a great check to things like the Thundurus-I. I can take a HP Ice on the chin, Rock Polish up, outspeed, and then start potentially sweeping from there. The main thing I need out the way is the Vaporeon, but I've got, you know, plenty of really good ways to be able to handle that. So hopefully I can take that out. And once that's out the way, I can start putting in the work. Heavy Slam does so much to Florges. It's actually pretty scary. And Heavy Slam actually does a, you know, decent amount, a reasonable number of his team. And the main thing, as I said, is just getting rid of the Weezing and also the Vaporeon if I can. Though I'm not 100% sure if Weezing's going to come, because Kyurem just blows that away. So we'll just have to see from there. And then finally we got the Ditto. So the Ditto is another interesting potential late game sweeper. If I can get that Mega Medicham out there, I copy it with Ditto with Choice Scarf. I'm huge power, I'm Scarf. I can lock myself into potentially High Jump Kick if he's not got his Ghost type and he's not got any mons that are left with Protect. Or I just lock myself into Zen Headbutt if he doesn't have the Crook, and I can potentially, you know, end up sweeping him back from there. So that's kind of the plan with the Ditto. It also means that, you know, I can hopefully 1v1 the Scarf Jirachi and stuff like that, and, you know, see from there. But the main thing is just to copy up that Mega Medicham, because I'm 100% sure that that was going to be there from there. So what I'm going to do now is move on to the battle, and you can see what happens from there. Okay, so we are at the match, and as you can see, you brought the Mega Medicham, probably a sort of like a Wish protecting, what's we call it, Vaporeon. The Jirachi has come, the Weezing's come as well, which is going to be, you know, most likely to try and beat that Mega Diancie. The Florges as well, so a really strong defensive wall core, double Wishes as well. And then finally the Thundurus-I as well to check a lot of my offense. So I decide my best lead here is to go off with Scolipede. If he leads off with Mega Medicham, I can protect on his Fake Out, get a Mega Horn off as he, or get my T-Spike up, because getting a T-Spike up will be really great to wear down these guys. So I decide to lead off with my Scolipede. I go for the Protect here as he Megas up, and I'm expecting him to go Fake Out here, and he goes for Sub. So that's something very, very spooky for me, and I decide, best bet, just try and break that Sub and go for Mega Horn, as he decides to bring me down to my Sash here. Now, at this point here, he is, I decide, you know, do I go for Endeavor here? Do I switch out, predicting the Bullet Punch? What do I want to do? Do I want to just try and get that T-Spike up? And I decide, you know what, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try and get that T-Spike up, as he switches out into the Weezing. So this is fantastic. I've got my T-Spike up, and now what I can do is go for my Endeavor and bring him all the way back down to 1 HP, which is really, really nice for me, because now what I can do is come in, Revenge Kill it with Starmie, and then basically that's a really, really good check to my Golurk out of the way from there. Out comes the Jirachi, and I'm like, oh, okay, he brought it in. It's Scarf. I'm going to have to try and deal with this. So I decide my Ditto's the best bet. I need to try and find out what sort of set this is. This special? Is it physical? And he goes to the U-turn here, which is fair enough. I wasn't expecting it to do too much of my Ditto, and I just wanted to try and scout out and see what sort of set it was. Out comes the Vaporeon here, and I decide my best bet is to just go for the U-turn. So I do go for a U-turn here as he goes to the Protect. The T-Spike coming in useful because you can see it starting to chip him away, and that's going to be really, really nice from me. So I go for the U-turn here, and I switch out and get back into my Starmie, which sounds a little bit weird, but what I can do here is basically put the pressure on his team, force him to go for that U-turn, and something's got to take a Hydro Pump. If he goes into the Vaporeon, I can then just spam Thunderbolts and wear it down from there. So I'm not too worried about if he goes into Vaporeon. So he does go for that U-turn, take me out. You can see how much Scarfarachi is doing to my team, and I apologize. I do go for the Thunderbolt here, as he then gets worn down a little bit with those things. I go for Hydro Pump here because I'm like, right, I think I 2-hit KO from here. We can see what he decides to do. Does he go for the Wish? He doesn't. He goes through Aromatherapy, and that's really, really nice for me. So at this point here, I can actually take out this guy. If he decides to switch out, I can get another T-Bolt off with the amount of HP that I've got and get a good amount of damage off on the Vaporeon. So I go for that Hydro Pump. No, apologies. He goes for the Protect here. I go for a Thunderbolt, predicting the switch here. And I decide, you know what, I'm going to go for Thunderbolt, for Hydro Pump here. I do miss the Hydro Pump as he's then able to get the Wish up. And basically, I wore down my Starmie for pretty much no reason from there. And he is then able to take me out with the Moonblast. Actually, looking at it with the Min-Max, it probably didn't make too much difference. But there was a chance that I could have killed with that Hydro Pump from there. So the Kyurem then comes in. I go for that Iron Head and absolutely destroy this guy. I couldn't sub up because I knew he was going to stay in and attack me. So that's really, really nice for me. Out comes the Jirachi as I'm forced to switch out again. I go into my Ditto because I know he's going to lock himself into Iron Head. Out comes the Iron Head. I know I can take a few of these. He goes to Iron Head again, outspeeds me. I get flinched. So I decided my best bet here is to switch out to Electivire. I can take these on the chin. I can put a lot of pressure on. And he gets to another Iron Head, gets a crit. And my Wild Charge goes off. So I've got some damage off, which is nice. But because of that crit and the recoil, I'm now down below where another Iron Head's able to take me out. So I have to go into Golug here, as he does go for the Earthquake. I couldn't Rock Polish up and decide in case he wants to go for, another Iron Head, because that would 2-hit KO. So I do go for the Ice Punch here, take out the Thundurus. So that's really, really nice for me. Out comes Jirachi again, goes to the Iron Head and takes me out. Out comes Ditto again, and I lose the Speed Tie. He Iron Heads me, and I flinch. Oh my God. It's so painful to watch again, and the Iron Head comes through and kills me. So I'm like, right, Kyurem, you've still got, a teensy-weensy chance. If you can live this, you might be able to outspeed the M.Medicham. You might miss the high jump kick or the Zen Headbutt. You never know. Like, I've still got a chance of winning here. Goes to the Iron Head, and I get the flinch.
Directly to you, and they're saying them directly to you. That's a whole other level of harassment, really.
And that's going to be game. Oh, God. Why, Jirachi? Why? Oh my goodness. So yeah, I lost almost, I lost every single speed tie with the Ditto, which was unfortunate, and then just Jirachi just made me cry. But what can you do? That's Pokemon, and that's Jirachi. But anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy. All of Zamcro's links will be down in the Zamcro's links, apologies, will be down in the description below, so don't forget to go and check him out and all of that good stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, and I will see you guys at the next one. Macadii out.